right, let's say hello and welcome to everyone currently tuned in to another Mikey Live program. I am your host, Mikey Hutchinson, and we are coming to you live from the Spice Isle of the Caribbean, Grenada. The pleasure is mine to be back with you for another day, for another night of news. For those of you who are viewing this in the daytime, well, another day of news. Folks, we have a lot of things to tell you about, boy. So many things, in fact, to tell you about. For those of you who are viewing for the first time, we'd like to officially welcome you to the Mikey Live program. And we needed your company, you know. You mean a lot to us. And to the usual suspects, well, hello to you. And of course, the pleasure is always mine to say thank you for coming back for yet another night. In tonight's headlines, expired food donated to school by a political party, says the education minister. We'll talk about that. OECS benefits from Oxford's AstraZeneca vaccine donated by the government of India. And Grenada receives 17,000 more COVID-19 vaccines or doses of the vaccine. And government expresses concern about price increase by the Caribbean agro industries. And protest over project in St. David. We'll hear from the government's, from the Prime Minister, and of course we'll also hear from the leader of the National Democratic Congress. The NDC leader, he's saying that they are not against development. And Grenada records 3 new COVID-19 cases. We'll talk about that and more when we return on tonight's Mikey Live program. Now, our headlines is brought to you through the kind compliments of the Communal Cooperative Credit Union. We also come to you compliments Real Value IGA Supermarket, the Housing Authority of Grenada, Coach Grenada Limited, Digicel Nawasa, and the Ministry of Health. So folks, when we come back, it'll be real news in all your lily lolo. So brace all yourself. The thing go good, the thing go good, you know. It go nice. So if you have not yet done so, again, please go ahead and share the business. We'll be back.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
The various COVID-19 vaccines work differently, but all do the same thing. They stop COVID-19 from making you sick. When someone usually gets sick from a virus, that virus has been able to get into the body's cells and force them to make more of the virus. And until a body has had enough time to make antibodies to fight the virus, that person will stay sick. But when you get a COVID-19 vaccine, it tells your cells to pretend to look like COVID-19 cells. And because your body's defenses think those are COVID-19 cells, even though they aren't, your defenses start preparing antibodies to fight the virus, even though you don't have the virus, and your body won't attack your cells that look like COVID-19. Now with your body prepared, if the real COVID-19 virus comes along, your body is ready to stop it right away, so you won't get sick. All because the vaccine prepared your body. So, get your vaccine when it becomes available, so your body is protected.
We are all essential in the fight against COVID-19.
At Courts, we're doing our part and we encourage you to stay at home, stay safe and shop online at www.shopcourts.com.
For added convenience, our Courts online customers will receive free delivery and get up to 20% off televisions, appliances and homewares. Plus, if you shop with Ready Finance, you will pay nothing down for 60 days. Now, you can stay home, shop online, and save.
Remember, do the essential. Wear a mask, wash your hands, practice social distancing, stop the spread. . 。   . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Free delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, Daisy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store now has amazing deals, special discounted prices on wedding sets, watches and selected jewelry. We sell top brand jewelry and watches like Citizen at the best price. We offer the best deals and customer service on the island. Opening hours Mondays to Saturdays 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store, located at the Esplanade Mall, St. George's, Grenada. Visit or call us today for 14-3114-232-1234 or WhatsApp 533-1581. Sale is on for a limited time only.
Feel good facts.
Avoid the most common causes of spreading the flu. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue, dispose of it straight away, and either wash your hands or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Are you prepared for the hurricane season? Do you have a plan? Remember, water is essential in any emergency plan. Determine your family's water needs. Ensure your storage containers are food grade and store at minimum 35 gallons of water per person per day for at least 1 week. Understand that your planning may be different this year because of the need to protect yourself and others from COVID-19. Take the necessary actions to ensure that your household has an adequate stored water supply should there be an interruption. Be prepared. NAWASA, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Alrighty, and welcome to another Mikey Live program. Just as the ad was about to complete, I just received a press statement from the Olympic Committee, the Grenada Olympic Committee. You know, they had this whole thing going out there, boy, talking about the resignation of some of the higher ranking officials within the organization, and there were a lot of speculations, if you will, about what has happened with monies and so on. Of course, there was a newspaper article that spoke to how much money was missing, XYZ, and so very contentious things was in that report. And so I'm just let me see if I can just send it, because it's kind of small to read. So I'll try to see if I can send it to my prompter here, and we'll be able to see what's there. But it's a very interesting development. Of course, as we get into tonight's news, I hope that you got an opportunity to tune in today on the program at 6 p.m. Where we spoke to Dr. Oles, and he is from the SGU. He's actually, whoa, the text is still small here. He's actually one of the persons, you know, the go-to persons when it comes to information about vaccines and so on. He's a virologist, in fact, and he has been the president of the St. George's University for a number of years. And of course, we were able to steal him for a few minutes to speak to him about vaccines and what are the likelihoods of it affecting persons in a negative way, because I think that that's a lot of the questions that people have been asking in terms of how does a vaccine affect my body other than what it's intended to do. And so we had that interview today. Very interesting and informative. It's on our page. You can check it out after the program. Now, press statement here from the Grenada Olympic Committee. Very small text, so bear with me. The President and Board of Directors of the Grenada Olympic Committee note the recent reports in the media pertaining to matters relating to an ongoing internal audit of the Olympic Solidarity Program of the International Olympic Committee of the GOC for the year 2013 to 2016. The audit is not unique to Grenada. It is part of a wider exercise conducted in many other IOC member countries as new financial reporting procedures are implemented. Indeed, nearly all national Olympic committees, 96% at least, have undergone some Olympic solidarity audit. The GOC wishes to make it clear that the ongoing audit has unearthed no wrongdoing on the part of any member of the GOC, but rather a lack of sufficient supporting documents or documentation. We are confident that once the audit is complete, it will uncover no malfeasance, all right, of the part of the GOC, all right? I don't think that's what it meant to be there. I have to try to zoom up again. Yes, malfeasance of the part of the GOC. Now, the president and other members of the GOC regret the members of the board of directors, some of whom joined the board subsequent to the period under review, have resigned. All right, again, and it's important to note this piece of information because coming out of it, when the resignations came about, it insinuated, that it might have been as a result of wrongdoing on the part of persons who might have resigned. And so this document here is saying otherwise, all right? All right, they're saying that they regret that members of the board of directors, some of whom joined the board subsequent to the period under review, have resigned. While we regret these resignations, we fully understand and respect their reason for so doing. All these members have pledged to continue to support the work of the GOC by serving on its various commissions and in their respective sporting associations. The president and the board of directors thank our outgoing members, for their dedicated service to the GOC over the years and the advancement of the principles of Olympism, and that is in Grenada. Now, once the audit is complete, any aspect of the outcome that are matters of public interest will be communicated to the public. The members of the board of directors of the GOC remains committed to our athletes, member associations, and the development of sports in Grenada. All right, so this is something we just received just before we came out from the first break of the program. Very interesting information there, at least. Now, the National Water and Sewage Authority has a notice for you. They'd like to advise persons in Toko Bay, Laura Land, Beaton, through to Red Gate and surrounding communities in the parish of St. David that in order to facilitate network maintenance, that you will experience interruption in your water supply, that is, between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. on Wednesday, that is tomorrow, 3rd March 2021. Now, consumers, you are therefore encouraged to collect and store water in clean covered containers prior to the scheduled interruption in the supply. Please also be advised that although the system will be reopened at 6 p.m., again, consumers in elevated areas may not receive your supply until about 2 hours after the scheduled restoration period. The authority apologizes, they say, for the inconvenience and would like to thank you for your patience as they work towards the delivery of a safe, adequate, and reliable water supply. Now, the whole talk about the election of the candidates for the nomination for candidates for the upcoming elections of the Public Workers Union. Well, gosh, that's a lot of talk. Heated conversations these days. Now, at closure or close of the time fixed for nomination of candidates for the election of the officers of the Public Workers Union Executive Council, the following persons were nominated as indicated. Now again, going up for president, we have Rachel Roberts, all right? And that the presidential position will be challenged by Arthur Pear and Brian Grimes. Now, them takes real small, boy. Or again blind. Something not right now. Anyway, then in the position of first vice president, we have Fimber Thomas and Godwin Coy. Second vice president, Nugent Bernard and Berlin Clarkson. And then for treasurer, Paul Phillip and Kieran Penny. And then for the public relations officer, there's Daisy Hazard. We had her on the program last night. And Deanna Isaac, that is. Secretary, Cavell Lett and Hermione Marichaux. And assistant secretary, Atasha Gilbert. All right. Now, as there was only one nominee for the position of assistant secretary, the following person was duly elected. That's Atasha Gilbert. So that will be the assistant secretary. The election of selected persons for the other posts will be on Tuesday, March 16th. All right, so let's see what will take place and who will be, whether or not there'll be a new president or the same president will go back and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Anyway, we are moving on. All right, so that's them. They're right. Now, we have received a correspondence from the Ministry of Education relating to donations and such to schools. Now, in this dispatch, it says that in light of the recent distribution of expired food items to some schools by an individual who is affiliated with a local organization, the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Development, Religious Affairs and Information is once again advising the general public that no food items should be distributed to students at school without the prior approval of the ministry. Now today, the Minister for Health made the announcement that, I think she said, a political organization donated expired food to them students. Now, this dispatch here says that the ministry is indeed grateful to the support extended to schools and to the ministry by way of donations or otherwise, and encourages the continued tangible and intangible assistance from all stakeholders, notwithstanding the health and safety of students within the school's environment is of paramount importance. Consequently, this ministry is seeking the full cooperation of the public towards ensuring that due processing is afforded for all consumables that are designated as donations for schools. Let due diligence and vigilance be our watchword. The minister said, they tried to be cautious and they made an announcement in terms of what procedures and processes should be followed. But yet, that wasn't taken lightly, the result of which was the distribution of expired food to students.
And that is why, Mr. Speaker, I'm not surprised that we do have a situation where expired food was provided to schools on island by a political organization. So, Speaker, I'm mentioning this because this should have never happened after that public statement of the process and the procedures to deal with the distribution of items to schools. Mr. Speaker, there are some things we take for granted until something happens that we are unable to deal with. At the end of the day, this government, no political party, this government will be held accountable for any student who becomes sick, is hospitalized, or endures some medical condition as a result of our irresponsibility. I am surprised, Mr. Speaker, that after this matter was dealt with last year, that we have to be having this conversation today. Mr. Speaker, I'm not going to name schools here, but we have to be mindful that when we're speaking about things to eat, feeding children, a parent at home send a child to school, expects that this child would be protected. And so under no circumstances, under no condition, can it be right? I don't know where you prepared the food. I don't know where you got the ice cream. I don't know where you got the ice lollies. To give those to a child without sufficient background information, Mr. Speaker, I can only consider it to be reckless and irresponsible. Mr. Speaker, those items that were collected back from the school, I assume and I pray and I hope that they were discarded and that no one had them. I just want to remind the nation and beg for their cooperation. All organizations, whether political, whether religious, whatever they may be, Mr. Speaker, I appeal this morning, let us not wait for something to happen before we respond appropriately. Thank you.
Well, okay, interesting. Well, as for me, and I ain't talking about that particular case, but just in general, I don't eat out like that unless it's a reputable restaurant. And in terms of food from people, I don't do that. All right? And there's no way anyone is going to come to tell me that they allowed someone to feed my child who I did not give permission. I don't care if it's a lollipop. I don't care if it's a lollipop. I don't care who it is. In fact, it should not be allowed on no level. So the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Education has to take full responsibility. I don't care whether you became a little timid because of backlash and allowed them to do it. I don't care how it happened. Still, the Ministry of Education has to take full responsibility for it. You see, I believe that right is right. It doesn't matter the noise in the market. And so if you are confident in whatever safety net or safeguards that there is, or processes or guidelines, if you're confident in it, then you should never waver. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter of the kind of pressure that comes from externally or internally or so. The rules are the rules for that reason. Yeah? No bending of no rules because of anything. That's just how I operate. So if my child comes home and tells me that the school I go into the school directly, and then I come in behind all in the ministry. I come in. You understand? If you had prior knowledge that it was going to happen and did not do enough to ensure that it did not happen, that just cannot happen. It just should not. Not to somebody's child, and then that parent does not know. Even if it's a cousin, an aunt of mine, a sister, nobody goes to the school where my child is and give them food items without my permission. Simple. We are moving on. Oh yeah. So hear that piece now. The heads of government of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS, announced the arrival of 125,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine donated by the government and the people of India. Now, the shipment arrived at the VC Bird International Airport in Antigua and Barbuda on Monday, 1st March 2021, around 8:30 a.m. It follows a previous shipment received less than 2 weeks ago by Barbados and Dominica, who received 70,000 doses, a significant portion of which was shared with the OECS member states. Now, Grenada received 17,000 of those vaccines. They were donated from Antigua, 5,000, St. Kitts and Nevis, 2,000, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 5,000, and St. Lucia, 5,000. We'll tell you more about that in a later report. Now, we are hearing again from the government that they are very concerned about the decision by the Caribbean agro industries to effect price increases during the COVID-19 pandemic, even after it was advised against doing so by the Ministry of Trade, Industries and Consumer Affairs. The government is also concerned that increasing the price of basic commodity items will exacerbate the social and economic challenges confronting families, as many are already dealing with reduced income and loss of jobs because of the pandemic. This concern was expressed to the Caribbean agro industries when the company first communicated the planned price increase for flour and animal feed, and a request was made to maintain prices at the current levels. The government is therefore appalled by the decision to proceed with the implementation of the price hike, a move which will cause additional hardship for Grenadians at this time and negatively affect the growth and development of the poultry sector. Now, industry officials have previously expressed concern about the impact of the monopoly on the development of the poultry sector, and the increased cost of feed will make it more difficult to generate the jobs and the production capacity that will foster the growth of the industry. Now, government assures the general public that it will do whatever it can to remedy the situation. Now, a cabinet subcommittee in collaboration with the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Consumer Affairs, they will convene a meeting this week, they say, with Caribbean agro industries to deal with the issue. Folks, there's been a lot of protests and conversations as it relates to current development happening at Lasajes in St. David. And that has to do with the Six Sense Hotel. All right. Now, according to protesters, there's been the destruction of the saltwater pond in that area and the mangroves. Now, a protest activity led by the National Democratic Congress on Sunday saw persons from within St. David and other areas coming together to articulate their position on what they deem as a raping of the natural habitat in that community.
We are here today to stage meaningful protests. We are protesting the destruction of the mangrove and also the destruction of the salt pond. This means a lot to the people of St. David. It means a lot to the people of Grenada. We are all in for preservation. We are not against this project. This project is welcome in St. David. We are glad to have a project of that magnitude, of that nature. However, it must not be done on the expense of the environment. We are standing firmly on this matter. Today, for the very first time, we are seeing trucks and backhoes walking in the area, trying to block off the entrance to the next beach. Now they are traveling on dangerous grounds. Grenadians must not be denied access to any beach whatsoever in Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And what they are doing there, the protest that we are starting today, will continue if necessary, because what they are doing, they are provoking the people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and this must stop. We are here to send a serious message also to the government of Grenada that in the future, projects of that nature the people must be consulted, the people must have a say. This project must be properly supervised to ensure that situations like the mangrove and the pond must not be infringed on. The Grenadian people don't like that, and so they're going to stand up and protest against it.
Here today to protest about I use the word raping of our natural resources. This is what is happening here is absolutely ridiculous. The salt pond, part of our heritage. I remember coming here as a little girl from Mardi Gras to collect salt with my mother, and the salt pond is gone. How could this be allowed? Why wasn't there supervision? We talk about the natural habitat, the birds. Apparently there's about 70 different species of birds here for bird watching. We talk about the nature reserve, but we're not preserving the nature reserve. Who is looking after and supervising these people doing this project. We're not against development, but we are against the raping, the indiscriminate raping of our country and the disrespect to the people of St. David's, and not only St. David's, Grenada as a whole. How could people just come in, or are allowed to come in and do this sort of thing? You know, it is the mangroves are gone. So we talk about nature, we talk about environment, we talk about climate change. Look at all those mountains being reaped. If we had a hurricane tomorrow, all this is going to come down into the sea. We talk about tourism. What's happening to tourism today? Tell me. And what about 2004 when we had Hurricane Ivan? We should have learned from that. No, we're not against development, but there's other ways we can develop involvement of the community, and not involving us shows great disrespect.
Thank you very much for that. And the Prime Minister today mentioned it in his presentation. Now, he was saying that, that the NDC doesn't want to see any sort of development in the country. And he listed out several amount of times that when there were development, that the NDC came out and protested against it. And he's saying that it is now a pattern where there seemed to be some kind of a convenient interest for the environment.
You know, I just don't understand some of the things that I see happening, that some persons in our country are making themselves look worse every day. Why would you have any kind of demonstration during a pandemic for issues of not of, I would say, extreme national, maybe if there's a, people are dying or something like that, and there's a crisis. I wouldn't understand why would anyone, and I'm talking specifically not of the street demonstration of the unions. That's a separate issue. But, you know, around my years, Mr. Speaker, in this parliament, every time this NNP government starts any project to bring development to the country, hundreds of jobs, economic activity, a certain political organization who was opposed to the NNP have always come out with demonstrations against the project and using also fictitious reasons, environmental concerns. Every time there's a project, some armchair environmentalists emerge, and when the project is implemented, they disappear.
Now, the Prime Minister said that he believes that the NDC, they are being malicious and is trying to make it difficult for people to make an honest living. He also mentioned that one of the hotel chains that were associated with the project pulled out as a result of those demonstrations.
Project in St. David's to bring two hotels, hundreds of jobs. The people are doing everything possible to protect every aspect of environmental concerns the country would have. Everything, because it's, Mr. Speaker, in this period, no serious investor would want to come and invest his money in any serious project in any country in this time with the sensitivity of environmental issues now, and do anything that will cause environmental concerns and affect the environment. Mr. Speaker, the only reason I'm raising this today, because the investor came forward to say to me, because of the noises being made by those persons in the St. David's area on this major project, one of the hotel chains that were involved said they don't want any part of that anymore. So they had to move to get another hotel chain involved. It doesn't stop the project, but it stopped the question of the entity that would be managing the activity. In other words, the purpose of these demonstrations is meant to stop the project, to prevent Grenadians from eating a bread, Mr. Speaker. That's the point I want to make. It is selfish, backward, and stupid, in my view, politically stupid, because you must not be seen as hurting people, particularly this time. The tourism industry.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, on that matter. And of course, we spoke to Mr. Adrian Thomas, who is the acting leader of the National Democratic Congress, who reiterated that his organization has no difficulty with development.
As I have said before, the National Democratic Congress has no problem with this project. We welcome the project in St. David. We have been clamoring for a long time for tourism to move through the countryside. We have said on many occasions that Granans is not Grenada, and Grenada is not Granans. So having a project of that nature in St. David is a very good idea, and we are grateful for it. But we are also mindful that this project will not be on the expense of the environment. We are very, very conscious of that. And the people have been crying out. The people have been crying out for dialogue and consultation. Unfortunately, this government does not see the need to really consult with the people and engage them in the whole developmental process, so that they could be part of it. Unfortunately, they are being ignored. They have held demonstrations before. They held meetings with the developer. They had discussion with him. And what we are witnessing there, apart from the mangrove being excavated or being destroyed, we are now witnessing the dumping of the lagoon, of the pond. This is we cannot accept this, and we are here. We are here to make the point that yes, project, any crime against the people of St. David's in regards to destroying the environment, destroying the mangrove, destroying the pond, will be met with some form of protest. And the people in St. David, they came out in a large number on last Sunday to make the point. We have also engaged the developer, and we have agreed to have a meeting with him. We're going to have a dialogue with him because he feels that we have some information, that he has some information that any dumping of the pond to reduce the size. As a matter of fact, what we are seeing there is that the mouth for the sea to come into the pond has been blocked. So it means that it's an open area of dead water, and I assume that all the life inside there would be dead today. This we hope that the dialogue will clarify a lot of information which we have doubts about. But to destroy the mangrove and now come and dump the pond, you're really slapping the people in the face. And the government and physical planning must take full responsibility for the kind of supervision that they have been given on this project. It seems as though physical planning don't have a clue what is going on. And unfortunately, you cannot have an institution responsible for such developmental projects in the country, and they are left out of the picture, unfortunately.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thomas, for that explanation for us. And here's what's happening now. The Ministry of Health, they have confirmed this, that Grenada has recorded 3 new imported cases of the COVID-19. Now, confirmation of the imported cases comes 3 weeks after the country's last active cases were medically cleared. Now, the Ministry of Health confirmed on Tuesday that the new cases are all females, 2 minors, and a 36-year-old who traveled together from the United States. Now, they arrived aboard a JetBlue flight on February 27th. As a result, and they were as required for all inbound passengers. They were tested within 72 hours of departure, and the results of which were negative. Now, on arrival in Grenada, as is also required, they were tested again, and those tests were positive. Health officials are concerned that the new cases could be one of the new variants and as such, the samples have been sent to the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, for testing. The results could take up to 2 weeks. Now, the returning nationals were approved for home quarantine prior to arrival based on the inclusion of minors and are being monitored. The 51 other passengers from last Saturday's JetBlue flight are in quarantine and will be tested on day 5, in keeping with Grenada's COVID-19 protocols. The daily COVID-19 dashboard reveals that at present, there are 226 inbound travelers who are at various stages of quarantine. The 3 new cases brings to 155 the total number of cases recorded in Grenada since March of 2020. Of that number, 73 were imported cases. A total of 22,381 RT-PCR tests have been conducted, and as of today, 4,650 people have received the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Time is running out, so we need to take a break and come back. So when we come back, what we will do, folks, we will have for you the national report. So let's take that break and return shortly. For those of you who have not yet done so, please go ahead and share the program.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business.
For your education.
For your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Free delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, Daisy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of it, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016, or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Lavish the world's best vodka cocktail.
Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store now has amazing deals, special discounted prices on wedding sets, watches, and selected jewelry. We sell top brand jewelry and watches like Citizen at the best price. We offer the best deals and customer service on the island. Opening hours Mondays to Saturdays, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store, located at the Esplanade Mall, St. George's, Grenada. Visit or call us today for 14-3114-232-1234 or WhatsApp 533-1581. Sale is on for a limited time only.
Feel good facts. facts.
Avoid the most common causes of spreading the flu. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue, dispose of it straight away, and either wash your hands or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Are you prepared for the hurricane season? Do you have a plan? Remember, water is essential in any emergency plan. Determine your family's water needs. Ensure your storage containers are food grade and store at minimum 35 gallons of water per person per day for at least 1 week. Understand that your planning may be different this year because of the need to protect yourself and others from COVID-19. Take the necessary actions to ensure that your household has an adequate stored water supply should there be an interruption. Be prepared. Nawasa, committed to meeting customers' needs.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
Anywhere at any time and have it delivered to you right here in Grenada at yogo.gd.
Grenada records 3 new imported cases of COVID-19. Details to this story and more in the National Report. Welcome back. With the details to the news for Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021, I am Sherry Ann Noel. Grenada has recorded 3 new imported cases of COVID-19. Confirmation of the imported cases comes 3 weeks after the country's last active case were medically cleared. The Ministry of Health confirmed Tuesday that the new cases are all females, including 2 minors and a 36-year-old who traveled together from the United States. They arrived aboard the JetBlue flight on February 27th. As required for all inbound passengers, they were tested within 72 hours of the departure, the results for which were negative. However, on arrival in Grenada, as is also required, they were tested again and these tests were positive. Health officials are concerned that the new cases could be one of the new variants, and as such, the samples have been sent to the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, for testing. These results will take up to 2 weeks. The returning nationals were approved for home quarantine prior to arrival based on the inclusion of minors and are being monitored. The 51 other passengers from the last Saturday's JetBlue flight are in quarantine and will be tested on day 5, in keeping with Grenada's COVID-19 protocols. The daily COVID-19 dashboard reveals that at present there are 226 inbound travelers who are at various stages of quarantine. The 3 new cases bring to 151 the total number of cases recorded in Grenada since March 2020. Of that number, 73 were imported cases. A total of 22,381 RT-PCR tests have been conducted, and as of today, 4,650 people have received the first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Moving along, Grenada has received its third shipment of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, this time a total of 17,000 doses. On receipt of the vaccines at the Morris Bishop International Airport on Tuesday, Health Minister Honorable Nicholas Steele says this comes graciously from the government and people of India, and in this instance from the allocation for some of the other OECS countries that shared with Grenada. Honorable Steele says the vaccines are administered free, but collectively the OECS islands contributed $250,000 for the transportation of the vaccines from India to the Caribbean. Honorable Steele says, as OECS, we are all in this together, and Grenada will give back to the countries when our direct shipment arrives.
The 17,000 has come from St. Vincent, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, and Antigua. And we will be returning to each of them. And if they wish for more, if their next shipment is a bit delayed or so, we will all continue to work together.
The health minister again encourages all Grenadians to come forward and be vaccinated, saying once there are vaccines in stock, no one will be turned away.
We continue to target individuals over the age of 65, comorbidities and frontline. But at this point in time as well, what we're doing is we're prioritizing them. But other Grenadian citizens who would like to have, the same way I extended the invitation to many of you and all media workers to come forward. The invitation is there to all bank, all supermarkets, all any entity where you work at, where you would be interacting with. And if also you do feel that you really want to take it now as well, you come forward. We're not turning anyone away, but we're making sure that our over 65, persons with comorbidities and frontline team don't have to wait in line for it.
Individuals with comorbidities are also encouraged to come forward and be vaccinated.
Asthma or any other underlying conditions, those will be what we refer to as comorbidities. Those will be things that could put you at further jeopardy, would become more possibly life-threatening if you were to get COVID-19. So most definitely I'd like to see you there as soon as possible at any of our centers.
The national vaccination program continues at the Deluxe Cinema Grenville on March 3rd between the hours of 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. With Grenada now in possession of 17,000 additional AstraZeneca vaccines, Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell is encouraging Grenadians to utilize the opportunity to protect themselves by getting vaccinated. During a meeting of the House of Representatives on Tuesday, Dr. Mitchell, while acknowledging people's right to choose freely, appealed for the nation to choose wisely on the matter.
They would be advising going to communities, community centers, and asking people to come in. No one will be forcing anybody to, as the minister pointed out, but we are impressing on our brothers and sisters to protect themselves. You don't want to wait to get sick before you look at dealing and protecting yourself against the virus, because the verdict is still out there. We don't know how long even the vaccination protects you. We don't know. There are some projections, but it's still, the verdict is still not final. So the point is, let's do what we have to do. And of course, the Cabinet Subcommittee and the Ministry of Health and the COVID Secretariat, they will be working to enhance the vaccination program throughout the length and breadth of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique.
While he respects the right of everyone to choose, Minister for Health Honorable Nicholas Steele is encouraging the public to take the AstraZeneca vaccine to prepare for any future eventuality, whether travel for emergency purposes or otherwise. During a meeting of the House of Representatives on Tuesday, Minister Steele appealed to those in leadership to lead by example, which can help to reduce the level of anxiety many are experiencing on the issue. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Protect yourself and our community from COVID-19. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. If soap and water are not available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 70% alcohol. Use a tissue when blowing your nose, sneezing, or coughing. Immediately discard the tissue properly and wash or sanitize your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Let's do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. To stay up to date, visit the Government of Grenada's webpage or the Ministry of Health's Facebook page. For more information, contact the Ministry of Health's hotline by calling 53-VIRUS. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by the Ministry of Health.
Welcome back. Grenada continues to reap the benefits of a solid friendship with Cuba, welcoming 16 Cuban doctors on Tuesday who will serve in the areas of oncology, cardiology, and nephrology. They arrived on the island to a warm welcome from Minister for Health Honorable Nicholas Steele and Cuban Ambassador in St. George's, Herrada de la Cara Guerrero. Minister Steele says on the midst of the challenges of COVID-19, the arrival of the medical team will strengthen the sector through their expertise.
They are in varying fields from nephrology, specialty nursing like nephrology. In oncology, there's a nephrologist here, a cardiologist here, as well as individuals to assist us, lab technicians with the PCR testing, etc., and in the labs in general, medical technicians to help with the repairing of equipment and maintenance of equipment, etc., there at the hospital. And also in pathology, because some of those who were here have completed their tour and they are going back, and a new one is coming in.
The arrival of the doctors comes at a time when Grenada is preparing to welcome its dialysis center. Areas that needs urgent attention can now be addressed.
Cardiology and nephrology in particular has come to us in preparation of the imminent opening of our dialysis center. So we will have a Cuban nephrologist here until we have a Grenadian trained nephrologist who will be here. But in the meantime, we are able to offer that service, the cardiology as well, to make sure that we have a cardiologist on island that will be able to deal with any and all of the complications that we may have, in particular and most importantly, the diagnosis. And similarly, as we move forward, with respect to our lab, our team has been providing yeoman service. They've been working literally 24/7. And as such, we've brought in some individuals to assist them so that they can get some downtime, but also that we can begin to offer the additional services that our brand new lab is able to do now at the General Hospital.
The Cuban ambassador said that her country is pleased to be assisting Grenada. And finally, government's lead negotiator for salary increases says continued industrial action on the part of the Grenada Union of Teachers means that students continue to be affected. Government has proposed a deferral of the 4% wage salary increase due to a significant drop in revenue collection, but it has committed to paying the increase to public sector workers once the fiscal space allows. During a meeting of the House of Representatives on Tuesday, Honorable Oliver Joseph reiterated that it is not in government's best interest to defer payments of the money, as this would signal a return to retroactive payments. Government has reiterated that it is aware of its obligation to honor the collective labor agreement, but it must also ensure that an additional burden is not placed on the country's coffers at a time when the pandemic has necessitated a lot of additional expenditure.
So I hope that good sense will prevail and that we can see an amicable settlement to a matter which, quite frankly, is one that is so simple. We owe you, we accept that. So when I have union leaders saying that legally the government had to pay them, we never dispute that, Mr. Speaker. Every time on the table, we never disputed that. We said we are contractually bound to pay you, and we will pay you. So where is the dispute? And when you pay you, you will get it retroactively. They say we understand that, but still tell us a month when you're going to pay. So I don't know what else to say.
Recognizing the severe economic impact of COVID-19 on the economy, government engaged the unions in 2020 and determined that it would be a challenge to meet the additional recurrent expenditure. The 4% increase will add $13.2 million to the public sector wage bill. During a conciliation meeting with the Labour Commission on February 19th, Minister Joseph suggested that the parties meet at the end of this month to review the country's first quarter performance. And with that story, we come to the end of the National Report for Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Sherry Noel, thanking you for viewing.
Thank you very much, Sherian, and the rest of the GIS News team. Here's your weather. Mostly fair, and shower should be light and brief. Any shower should be light and brief. Tonight's minimum temperature about 23 degrees Celsius. Winds east-northeasterly to easterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour. Seas moderate with waves 5 to 7 feet in open waters. A small craft advisory is in effect. All right. And that's your weather report. And just before I wrap up, tonight I'd just like to, as usual, say hello to a few people who are currently viewing the program. That includes Reginald, Rolanda, Zaka, Brenda, Michelle, Suzette, Cynthia, Angel, Yvonne, and Noreen, and Zaka, and Ventress, and the whole team. Yes, we just went a few minutes over, but that's all right. Information is always worth the extra time. So yeah. So everyone else, Kireen and everyone, Rolanda, the whole team, thank you for watching. Mom, Lintana, Hamilton, Hazel, Dolores, and Javar, thank you for watching, as well as Spice Girl and Samantha. All right, blessings to you as well. And we also see that we have first-time viewers. So all the first-time viewers, hello. And those of you who have been silent all along and say nothing, we know that you're there. Thank you for watching. We touch base tomorrow, God's willing, same time, same place. Until we meet again, may God bless you and your family. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we all say, Ja! No! Hey, by the way, I see Jane come up there by April, and Jane and Kireen and Osric. Oh, Della, Noreen, and a lot of people still popping up. Sally, April, Vicky, Ventress, Spice Girl, and Sky. All right, and Olive, Brenda, everybody, all are gone. Doris, all the small man already. Take care.